Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We're going to introduce you to just a handful of our adoptable pets in this episode.
King Kong is FCAC's one-year-old Bernedoodle mix, and he's kind of the perfect example of what happens when you get a puppy and don't work on those basic manners. He is an incredibly friendly guy. He's confident. He, again, never met a stranger, walks right up to people, enjoys affection, is playful, but those manners are really kind of the king's downfall, if you will. He is a little bit jumpy. He can pull on leash. He can become playfully aroused. He's known for, again, being mouthy, jumping up all over people. So he just needs somebody who's willing to put in a little bit of time to make sure that he learns those things. He's not a huge dog, as his name might imply. He's only about 57 pounds, and he might look a little bit bigger, but most of that is just fluff and fur. But he does still need to learn those basic manners. A little bit of consistency can go a long way, and hopefully, once he's in a home and he's going to be getting those things consistently, those behaviors will shift, and he'll be learning ways to expend his energy in a more positive way. He is, again, very friendly, but because he can be so jumpy and mouthy and things like that, we think he might be better suited for a home with kids that aren't super small, just, toddlers and things he might, not accidentally knock over. And because he is a Bernedoodle, he is going to need some grooming maintenance. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. He's going to need baths. He's going to need haircuts. He's a dog that you could do the grooming yourself, but might be easier to go ahead and get them professionally groomed. The good thing is he is used to baths. We've given him a bath here. He did really well. He was comfortable being touched in a variety of areas all over his body, but would definitely benefit from a professional groom. He has some hidden mats and things like that in there that really need to be taken care of. But if you're okay with a dog that needs to learn those basic manners and you feel like you have all the skills to help him do that, you can head on over to visit fcac.as.me to book an appointment. Oftentimes animals come to us, and when they arrive here, whether they're stray or owned, they're totally healthy. But sometimes animals come to us with medical conditions, and the first animal we're having on the show for you today that came in that way is Lily. And Lily came in with vaginal hyperplasia. So things were kind of more swollen and things than normal, and we had to treat her for that. We had to make sure that she was going to be okay to be adoptable. So the treatment was pretty simple for her. Obviously some medication, but then we just got her spayed, and we had to wait for her to recover. And she's been on the adoption floor for a few weeks now, fully recovered and ready to go. But that's why there might be a bit of a gap between when she was first brought to us and when she was made available for adoption. Lily is small but mighty. She is a short girl, but she is a walloping 56 pounds. So she's all muscle and big smiles, and she's a lot of fun. She can be an affectionate girl, but she can also be a girl that gets a little overstimulated. So she needs to work on her basic manners and impulse control. But she is super sweet, and everybody really enjoys interacting with her. She just needs to, again, work on those things. But if you kind of calm down with Lily, then Lily calms down, settles nicely, relaxes. And again, she's a beautiful dog. Beautiful, has a great smile, definitely going to be a great companion. She seems very interested in the other dogs when she's walking by and doesn't seem to be bothered. She's either looking at them or ignoring them, and she might be a great companion if you are looking for an additional dog for your multi-dog household. But again, she does need to work on those basic manners, so that's just something to keep in mind. But if you're interested in Lily, go ahead and book an appointment to meet her at visitfcac.as.me. Mira is the next guest on our show that kind of came in with a pretty severe medical situation when she arrived at the shelter as a stray. And she is the poster girl for why you want to make sure that you're maintaining flea and tick preventative on your dogs. Mira came in and she was, suffering from swollen joints, lameness, lethargy, all of these things. And it turns out she's Lyme positive. So we were able to get her on the normal course of treatment for that medical condition. She's on some doxycycline. She's starting to feel better, but wouldn't it have been great if we could have prevented that in the first place? And, simple monthly flea and tick preventative goes a long way. Once she finishes her cycle of doxycycline, she'll go on that Lyme vaccine, and she is, of course, here in the shelter getting her monthly flea and tick preventative. Now that she's feeling better, Mira is definitely starting to show off her personality. She is a very sweet girl who has never met a stranger. She loves attention. She leans in for pets. She's already started to meet some potential adopters, and she walks right up to them. So while she is really comfortable with people, new environments and things of that nature are still a little bit new for her. She's still learning about the world, and she's going to need an adopter that can help her start to view new things more positively. So, noises, new environments could all be something that she needs to take a little bit more slowly. And then, of course, she also is learning her basic manners. She's not very jumpy or mouthy or any of those things. She walks nicely on a leash, but she doesn't necessarily understand the concept of a leash. So, she will walk herself around you and kind of rope tie you, get herself caught in the leash. And so she's just kind of learning those things. She's, needs to learn a sit and things that are, again, pretty common, pretty easy to teach, but stuff she's just not yet experienced. And, she has a goofy side as well. She has incredibly funny zoomies, and they're sure to bring a smile to your face. And if you think you have the time to, help Mira learn that the world is a wonderful place to be, you can head on over to visit fcac.as.me to book an appointment to meet with Mira. A few weeks ago, 3 huskies made their way onto our adoption floor, and they're kind of a mixed bag. There's one that's really confident, then there's one that's kind of in the middle, and then there's one that's a little bit more shy and more nervous. And right in the middle, we have a Slushy. A Slushy is a beautiful dog. She has the heterochromia, so she has different colored eyes. She's about 4 years old, red and white husky, beautiful dog. She is a little bit nervous, so approaching her in a bit of a slower manner, getting down low, making yourself more submissive, and understanding that she might take time to warm up to new people, to new environments, to new noises, all of those things that she just is unsure of. She does, make friends a little bit more quickly than maybe her sister. She's more comfortable roaming about in bigger areas than her sister, or we're calling them sisters because they came in together, but very friendly, just needs that time. Still figuring out the leash, figuring out confidence. So training is a great way to help dogs learn confidence, and they are taking treats and things like that. So that's a good way to start. We are helping Slushy with her confidence by sending her to a training facility in the upcoming days. So hopefully she'll come back with an understanding of basic training and a little bit more confidence that will help her find her new family more quickly. Like Mira, Slushy is Lyme positive as well, but she's not had any of those flare-ups or the active infection. So we are treating her preventatively with some doxycycline. She is too getting all of her flea and tick preventative, but something to look at when you're visiting. Make sure you're reviewing those medical records. If you are looking to clean up all that husky fur and you want to make Slushy part of your family, go ahead and visit our booking site. Visit fcac.as.me. If you're in the market for a German Shepherd, we do have one offering for you here at the shelter right now. We have Watson. He's about 2 years old. He has the best ears. He's got the one that stands up, the one that's a little bit more floppy. He has a big goofy grin. He is a sweet guy, but he's also one of those guys that's going to take a little bit of time to adjust to his new environment. The shelter can be a very stressful place, and Watson's definitely feeling that stress. So we do have him on some medication to kind of help reduce that stress for him, make him feel a little bit more comfortable. But when you take him outside, he's comfortable, he walks around. The biggest thing is that he too, like many of the dogs that come through our doors, need to learn some of those basic manners. He does have a sit already. He's food motivated. He just needs to learn to walk nicely. He's a dog that's going to greatly benefit from walking on a harness, not only to kind of help set some boundaries there with him, but to also prevent him from hurting himself by pulling so hard on a leash or a collar that might be around his neck. He enjoys affection, and he's an active guy, so he's going to need someone who's willing to go out and take him places where he can run and play. We don't require people to have fenced in backyards, but he might benefit from that. If you don't have that type of situation, then making sure you're using local dog parks if he's a candidate for that, or sniff spots are now a new thing that's very helpful to make sure that your dog has plenty of space to run around and get that exercise. We haven't had any issues with him in terms of reactivity with other dogs. He's done favorably with tail wagging, calm demeanor, things like that. But if you're looking to add Watson to an existing dog home, then we do require those meet and greets where you bring your dog in, they do a little intro, see if they can get along before we decide if that's going to be a suitable home for all involved. But if you have seen that goofy smile and you want to make it part of your family forever, then you can head on over to visit fcac.as.me to start that process. Spritzer is the shyest of the 3 Huskies that came into our facility. She is a beautiful dog, and she is doing really well with, interacting with our staff, but new environments are a lot for her. Slowly but surely we're able to get her from, outside, going through doors and weird floors, was a little bit uncomfortable for her. So we made that, success. And now we're moving on to the next goal, is to kind of get her out on a walk in the field area. She's a little unsure and not ready to go out that far yet. So she is a dog that's going to require a lot of patience from her new family to take things slow, use rewards, positive association with treats and things like that. Sometimes it works. A doggy friend can help build her confidence and get her out there. So just working through those types of things to figure out what's going to work best to make her feel more comfortable, and then continuing to reiterate those things. Consistency helps to build confidence. All those little successes build on each other. And, before you know it, with a little time and patience, she's going to be, hopefully a normal, happy dog. But interacting with us socially, with human to human contact, she's accepting of that. I went and took her pictures. She didn't really know me. She was happy to smile for me, take treats. So there's a lot of potential there if you're willing to put in the work. That being said, she, like some of the other dogs on the show today, is also Lyme positive. She also is tested anaplasma positive. So we are treating those conditions. And so some of her reluctance might just be because she doesn't feel good. So we're working through that. We are noticing that she's starting to feel better. And she also just loves to be outside. She's one of those dogs that's really taking full advantage of those indoor-outdoor runs that we're fortunate to have now, and wants to hang out outside. So if you have an outdoor living space that's going to give her the opportunity to kind of be out there in a safe way, she's a husky, it's starting to get hot, we want to make sure she's staying comfortable, then she might really thrive in that environment. But if you think that she sounds like the perfect project dog for you, the only way to get things started is going to be going to our booking website and setting up that appointment. So head over to visit fcac.as.me.